Right, okay, good afternoon, everyone. Can you hear me?
Yes, madam.
Okay, so let's wait until I get the screen sharing. Okay, right. So today we are going to start with a new topic. I hope you have received the lecture materials. Have you? Do you
Yes,
have the?
madam.
Okay,
Yes, madam.
fine. Right. So we are going to start with word formation processes, right? From the beginning. So we'll wait few seconds, okay? Right, okay. Can you all see the screen now? Hello?
Yes, madam.
Yeah, okay. Right, so, right. So this is the part, okay, I'll just show you. This is the area we are going to start our discussion with today. Words and words formation processes. And after that only we have the other topics, okay, right? So, okay, fine. So now let's start with the topic of the day, words. And the topic says words and words formation process, but now morphology, we can't discuss anything in morphology without talking anything about words, no? And during our previous sessions, we were talking about words actually, right? Our discussion revolved around the words. The definition, starting from the definition and then the internal structure, right? And also the interrelationships among the words. So these are the areas we were talking during the previous lessons. Now this is something different, right? So that is why we can get this section under a different topic on words formation process. So in this area, actually this area is little bit lengthy. There are 3 sections there, right? So in this section, we are going to pay our attention to how we are going to form new words, right? Actually, we are not going to talk about the existing words, how new words are being added to the vocabulary of a language, and what are the processes behind them? The processes behind the formation or addition or creation of new words. So that is the focus of our discussion here. Okay, right. So if you just go to the starting lines, the finite vocabulary of a language is expanded and altered to deal with the infinite world. Right. Okay, so that's one idea given to you when you try to understand why we need word formation processes actually, right? And why word formation processes means different methods. Different methods which we use to create new words. But then we have the question, why should we create new words then? Why can't we be satisfied ourselves with the existing words in the vocabulary of any language? Now we have our mother tongue on one hand, and on the other hand, we have our second language, and also some of you may have your foreign language awareness as well, right? So if we just simply talk about basically mother tongue and the second language, so we are feeling quite comfortable with both these, right? So then why can't we be happy with the existing number of words, with the existing words? Now, I don't mean that you yourselves only individually can create new word and add it to the vocabulary of your Sinhala or Tamil or English, right? It is not that, it's not practical or not possible. But with the time being, people are adding new words to the vocabulary of their languages. Why do you think it happens like that? What is the reason for that? Is there anyone who has any idea about this? Why should we have new words? I mean, in other words, why should we increase the vocabulary of our languages, be it mother tongue or second language? What is the need? Yeah, if you feel like telling anything relevant to the point, you can talk, no issue. Yes. Are you listening? Are you in the lecture? Yeah, world is changing. Yeah. Actually, I need you all to think about this thing. Otherwise, there's no point in talking about the word formation processes one by one without having a proper understanding as to why we should have word formation processes. Yeah. Yes, world is changing, and there's an example, okay. Development of technology, yes, and also the outbreak of coronavirus, like, yeah, to compete with the world, okay, and to refer to new concepts, right? Fine, new concepts, because sometimes now, day by day even, right? New ideas, new theories, concepts are coming in. So we need to find words to introduce them, to enhance communication. Okay, good, fine. To enhance communication. Actually, that is the primary thing actually, right? We need to enhance our communication in different aspects like technology and the new concepts and new situations, world situations like, as you said, corona, etc. Cultural understanding, okay, right? Well, fine. So all you are typing here are correct, right? All you are telling, and those who are thinking may be correct, but I don't know what you were thinking actually. I can read what you have written only. So all these ideas are actually relevant to this point. The thing is, because of these reasons, right? Because of the outbreak of different kind of situations in the world, And because of the discovery of new things, new concepts, new theories, innovation of new instruments maybe, okay? Because of these reasons. And also because of the enhancement of the thinking pattern of the people, right? Because of these reasons, we need to improve our communication, right? We need to develop, enhance our communication, as you said. For that reason, actually, the existing vocabulary may not be enough. So as a result, what can happen? Obviously, we need to go for new words. Okay, we have to have new words. Sometimes the existing words may not be enough, their meanings may not be enough. Although the word is there, the connotations and the denotative meanings are not enough. So we will have to replace the existing words. We will have to create new words. Sometimes we will have to substitute the existing words, replace the existing words. Sometimes we will have to remove the existing words and bring another set of words. So this kind of changes should be done, and that is what we mean by development of a language, right? Developing a language means that. So all the languages in the world, almost all the languages in the world are developing. They are evolving, right? Now you know what evolution, in Sinhala we say vikashaya වෙනවා. So they are evolving throughout the time to meet these requirements, right? So definitely the language which we use today may not be the exact language which we will be using very soon, maybe tomorrow, sometimes with couple of new words added to the vocabulary, right? So this phenomenon is actually common to any language. I'm not talking about the dead languages in the world, right? Dead languages are the languages like Latin, Greek, Sanskrit, which are not usually used for communication. They are limited to the documentaries only, the documents only, right? I'm not talking about that kind of languages. If we just think about the live languages, they are kept on changing. So this is the reason. Actually, these are the reasons. So they are changing vocabulary, right? So that idea is given here at the very beginning. The finite vocabulary, finite here means the limited vocabulary, right? Limited. At a given time, the vocabulary of any language is finite. At a given time, right? Now, for the moment, if you just take up the entries of the Oxford Dictionary, right? English language, you can just count and give the number of the words. At the moment, the vocabulary is finite. But actually, the problem is this finite vocabulary is not enough to meet with the requirements of the infinite world. Infinite world, right? So therefore, we have to develop the vocabulary. And how are we developing the vocabulary? By adding new words. Then how are we going to add new words to the existing vocabulary? By means of employing some word formation processes. Okay, right now in this lesson, we are going to pay our attention to few of those commonly used word formation processes, right? Okay, so now I told you there are 3 sections. We are going to discuss this topic under 3 sections. One section is where the new words are added to the vocabulary, right? That means totally new words. They are added to the existing vocabulary of a language. And the second way is the meanings of the existing words are changed, right? Actually, the existing word is there. It is already there, the word is already there, and it is not changing, but only the meaning can undergo changes, right? And the third one, operation of word formation rules. So the processes, word formation processes, although we take it in common, right? There are these three types of variations. The word formation processes can function in adding totally new words or in changing the meanings of the existing words or by way of operation of word formation rules, right? Okay, so we'll be starting, actually we are going to have a look at these three one by one, and let's start with the first one. First section, adding new words to the vocabulary. Okay, so here adding new words, you need to consider totally new words, entirely new words. So we take it as creating new words as well. Creating, and in one word, we have the word neologism. So when you are reading something, if you happen to come across the term neologism, you need to understand it means creating entirely new words, right? That is what you mean by neologism. And here you have got some basic idea. Speakers continually create new words. They are adopted by larger linguistic community and finally they become part of the language. Yeah, actually this is a kind of process. This creating new words is a process. It should undergo a process where there are certain steps like this. First thing is actually by means of any kind of word formation process, speakers create new words. Creating new words, that is the first thing. Continually creating new words, right? And then they are adopted by larger linguistic community. Second step. Now, creating new words itself cannot have any impact in changing the vocabulary, right? Now, you create a new word. I create another new word and my friend creates another new word. So that's all. Do you think these new words will be added to the vocabulary of the language? Never, right? I mean, creating new words, that happens at the individual level, individual speaker level. And after that, these newly created words are adopted by the larger linguistic community, not one or two individuals, right? By larger linguistic community, larger groups. Larger groups should start using these newly created words. That's the second step. And then only third, finally, and last, they become part of the language. That is the last step. So you need to understand, although we consider creating new words as a word formation process, it doesn't happen overnight. Okay? It takes a long time. In this way, we have several processes of creating new words. We have acronyms, alphabetic abbreviations, coin words, clippings, blends, generified words, borrowings, and reduplication. So are you familiar with any of these processes? You have any sense of any one of these? Oh, at least heard of something? Yeah. Yeah. I did not hear. Tafim.
Abbreviations, madam, like AM, PM.
You are familiar with abbreviations. Okay. Dilani, what? You have said yes. So what? I mean, you don't have to go back to the notes now, okay? Don't read the notes now in a hurry. Don't, please. You just look at this list. And anything which is familiar to you, that's what I'm asking. Yeah, what? If yes, what are the familiar ones? Just to check your idea. Clippings. Okay. Coin words and blends, you have some idea. Fine. What else? Others? Hmm? What is it? Is republication. Shamla, what do you mean by that? Republication. It is not a word formation process, of course. I have given reduplication. Acronyms, abbreviations, fine. Borrowings. Okay. It seems that you know everything. Now I'm checking from the list any word which has been missed by you. It seems that you know everything, right? So it's fine. What about the others? Other students? Only few are chatting and yeah, talking. Acronyms, fine. Clippings, borrowings, blendings. So what do you, okay, fine. So anything which is not familiar to you all? Yeah. Anything which is not familiar? Yeah. So it's really good to know that you have got some idea. Now you are saying you are familiar. Right now, let's see. In the sense now, while I am discussing, you please right contribute to the discussion so that you will on the familiar things now. So you will remain, right? These things will remain in your mind, right? You will be able to retain the ideas clearly and accurately in your minds, as you have already the familiarity and if you are going to contribute with that knowledge. Fine then. So I'm going to discuss all these processes one by one, right? Because at the end of this discussion, you should have a very clear idea in your mind regarding what are acronyms and how do acronyms differ from alphabetic abbreviations, for example, okay? And also coin words and clippings. What do you mean by clippings and how it happens? And blends, example. So like that, what do you mean by a particular word formation process? How it happens? What are the examples? Likewise, the very clear picture should be created in your mind at the end of this discussion. Okay, Dilani, generified words and reduplication, not much familiar. Fine, it's all right. We are going to discuss anyway all these one by one, right? Okay, so therefore your attention and concentration is very much needed because this is an area which is usually tested in your exams. And usually there are questions from this. Now in your paper, I mean, I just feel like it's a bit too early to talk about the end paper, but it's all right. Even the mid paper, there are MCQs now. So in order for you to answer the MCQs to pick up the correct choice, you have to have the knowledge, right? And that knowledge can't be vague knowledge. Accurately, you should know these things. So therefore, take part in the discussion and get the things clearly into your mind, right? Okay, so we'll start with acronyms first then. Acronyms. So in your lecture materials, you may have blanks like this. Please check your lecture material, right? If there are certain areas which are not filled with the examples or detailed examples, make sure to complete them. Okay, right. So we'll first look at acronyms. Acronyms, that is a common word. And I think everybody, most of you must have familiarity, right? About acronyms. But here you need to be familiar with not only acronyms, and then our next category is alphabetic abbreviations. So both processes are with the same, and you have to know where they become different, right? Now first we will see about acronyms. They are formed by using the initial letters of words or word parts. So each letter in an acronym is the first letter of some other word. So we are going to pick up the initial letters of the words in a phrase. Okay. we pick the initial letters of the words in a phrase and then we arrange these initial letters, then take that arrangement as a new word. So each letter in an acronym is the first letter of some other word. Okay, so these are the examples for acronyms. These are acronyms. Actually, if you happen to write about acronyms, you can produce examples like this, not the same ones here, right? There are so many other examples. But I am giving these things for you to get the idea regarding what acronyms are. But here, just try to identify what are the longer phrases. Now, AIDS, AIDS, A stands for a particular word. That is the first letter of a word. And I is the first letter of another word. Likewise, there are 4 words. So what is the longer phrase? And DOS, LAN, GIF, radar, laser, 4 more. As I told, there are many more acronyms. At the moment, can you find the longer words? I think you have space in your note, right? So you will have to type the longer words. Without Googling, what are the words you can just quickly give me the longer phrases of? Any word which is familiar to you? I think all the words are familiar.
Madam,
Yeah,
Madam,
yeah.
LAN is large area network.
Large area network. Large. Is that large? Okay, AIDS, acquired immune deficiency syndrome. Fine. Yes, Banu. Okay, correct. What else? What are the other things you are familiar with? Without checking from a site, I'm asking. Okay. Yeah, actually LAN is not land area network. That's local area network. And yes, DOS, disk operating system. Others? Usually you have radar, laser. Actually, now, sometimes some of you might not think that each letter of radar and laser are the first letters of some other word. That much the word radar, laser are familiar to us, right? But actually they stand for a long phrase. And the FOMO is the latest one. Anything else you can think of? Okay, right now, whatever the phrases you know, GIF, graphics interchange format. Okay. You came up with AIDS, DOS, LAN, GIF. What about the last 3? Radar, laser, and FOMO. Right, I will give you the words. Right. So you can see here, AIDS, acquired immunodeficiency syndrome. You can see the first letter, AIDS, and DOS, LAN, GIF, radar, radio detecting and ranging, and laser, you can find light amplification, stimulated emission, radiation. And the last one is quite recent kind of addition, right? FOMO, and this fear of missing out. That is actually a slang acronym, not a standard one or a formal one. Okay, FOMO is not a formal acronym. Whereas now you can use AIDS, DOS, like LAN, all these words they are formal ones. You can use them in any formal or even informal situations. But the last one, formal, is only a slang term, which is very colloquial and should be used in informal situations among the friendship circles or very close circles only, right? Not in formal situations. Okay, I'll give you a few minutes. Please take down these phrases. I mean, you need to update your note with this. Right? Longer phrases. Take down them. Okay. Finish. Right. So that is the nature of the acronyms. Okay, so there are so many other examples. Fine, right? Yeah, there's a list of examples from Dilani. Thanks. Pin, Rem, and Van, Sark, Kessel. Okay, very good. So likewise, hope you got some idea regarding the formation of acronyms here. We just pick the first letter of a word in a longer phrase. right? Not one single word, a word that belongs to a longer phrase. And then we arrange these initial letters in the order of the occurrence and take it as a word, right? As one word. So mostly there are vowel sound letters in the middle so that it's really easy for us to form a word, right? And we pronounce actually we pronounce these initial letters at a stretch, just like a word pronunciation. Okay, so keep this idea in your mind when we go to the next one on alphabetic abbreviation. So that is the term which is used to introduce this kind of word formation process. And one word is their initialism. Alphabetic abbreviations or initialism. Now, don't be misled by the word abbreviations here, because we are not going to talk about the abbreviated words like AM, PM, like Anno Domini, Post Domini. They have been shortened like AM, PM, etc. Not that kind of abbreviations, right? Now, this is alphabetic abbreviations, or we use the word initialism. So, what is happening here? Each first letter of the words is individually pronounced and new word is formed. Now, it is the same, right? The formation is same here, same to the acronyms. Here also, we pick the first letter of the words in a longer phrase. We pick the first letters of the words in a longer phrase, right? So, formation is that, but pronunciation is different from acronyms. In acronyms, we pronounce all the words at a stretch just like a word. AIDS, dose, lang, radar, GIF, laser, former likewise. But in initialism, we do not pronounce these words, these letters in like that, right? Like a word. Instead, we pronounced individual letters separately, right? Each first letter of the word is individually pronounced. So that is the point where alphabetic abbreviations differ from acronyms. So how do you say these words? Actually, these are the examples for alphabetic abbreviations, right? How do you pronounce them? First one, we say www, and HTML, LED, BBC, CNN, URL, ASAP. But there I have heard some people calling ASAP as well, right, as an acronym, but ASAP is the commonest usage. So, did you get the difference then between acronyms and alphabetic abbreviations? We separately pronounce each letter in alphabetic abbreviations, whereas in acronyms, we pronounce all the letters at a stretch, like a word. So what do these stand for? What about BBC, CNN? They are very common, right? I think they are very familiar than the others. Any idea about this?
British Broadcast Channel.
Yes. BBC, British Broadcasting Corporation, and CNN? Yeah. So you might know. HTML. Yeah. Hypertext Markup Language. World Wide Web. So that is what we mean by WWW. Right? LED? Any idea? LED. And URL. What about the last one? ASAP. It's very common. Yeah. CNN, Cable News Network. Good. LED. Light emitting diode. Good. Fine. ASAP? Tell me ASAP. What do you mean by?
As soon as possible.
Yeah. Very common. Nush, now do you say GIF? How do you pronounce? There's a question from Nush. Do you say it as GIF?
GIF, madam.
GIF. That's why. So that is an acronym. It's considered to be an acronym. We normally don't say GIF, right? Yeah. Okay. Right then, well, so you can see them here. And only thing is, for URL also you have uniform resource locator, right? So try to, now don't be happy with these examples, right? Now you should do, yes, thank you, Dilani. I mean, you should know that in every year, for every batch, I am giving the same set of examples. Sometimes I update, right? Sometimes I update, sometimes I don't. So it will be more or less the same set of examples that are coming in my lecture notes. Even the points are the same, but during my discussions, I do a lot of, I explain a lot more things. Sometimes some more examples are also there in the explanations, but notes are quite like fixed. So don't be happy with the examples that are available in the notes. Just like the previous set acronyms, someone, I think Dilani, right? She has, if I remember correct, she has come up with so many examples like that. If you can add more examples to this list, I think that's the best thing for you to do. So that when you go for the exam, you can study the examples added by yourselves. Just say that you are writing a long answer, right? Essay type answer. So if you want to have a variation in your answer, right? Content-wise variation, if you want to have that content-wise variation, better to go for different examples, different but still relevant examples. Don't always talk about www, HTML. They are very common as alphabetic abbreviations, right? VBC, CNN. So just try to find some more. There may be new additions. Recent additions on alphabetic abbreviations to the English language. The other point I forgot to tell you actually, at the beginning of this lesson, I should tell you, now these word formation processes can be seen in any language, okay? Now in Sinhala also, we may have acronyms, alphabetic abbreviations, and sometimes generifications, reduplications, so and so. When Tamil, you might have some. In English also we have. But the thing is, I'm getting examples from the English language only here, right? So let's all focus into the English language when we take or discuss examples, but that doesn't mean these word formation processes are not available in the other languages. They are available, right? But in your answers, you too better get examples from the English language. Right? Okay. Well, then I thought, I hope you have updated the note with these long phrases. Only thing is, remember, these are the examples for alphabetic abbreviations. And this is how they have been created. Okay, right. The next one, we have coin words. Now, what do you mean by this word, coin? We have the word coinage also. Coinage, that's the noun form. And coin words. The meaning of coin or coinage is that entirely new words, right? Inventing entirely new words. Entirely new words means these new additions are not previously existent. They are not there already in the vocabulary. Totally or entirely new innovations. That's the idea. So speakers coin new words by inventing new sound sequence and pairing it with a new meaning also. Right now, what is happening? Actually, this is a separate idea there. Okay, hope you got the point up to this. Coin words or coinage is the process of inventing entirely new words which are not previously existent, right? Which are previously non-existent, right? So when we coin a new word or when we create entirely new word, what is happening there? But actually, what do we mean by creating entirely new word? It is not there already in the vocabulary. And then when we are creating a new word, definitely two things are happening, right? One thing is the pronunciation. Pronunciation, I mean, we have to have some idea regarding how to pronounce that word. That is the meaning here, inventing new sound sequence. Sound sequence. Pronunciation of that word. Coupled with it, we have new meaning, right? When we invent a new word or create a new word, pronunciation is invented as well as a new meaning is also brought out with that. So pronunciation and meaning, these two aspects are related in creating a new word apart from the orthography side, right? Orthography means how to, the formation, how to write the spellings. Apart from that, pronunciation and meaning. So all these things are newly created when we create entirely new word. Okay, don't think that when we create new words, it is only the pronunciation or it's only the spellings or how to write that word only. No, all these three things should be there along with the spellings or the orthography, pronunciation as well as the meaning. So here you have two examples in your note, geek and dweeb. Actually, these two words I have selected from adolescent slang. These are not very formal words, okay? These are used mostly in informal context. That is also by adolescents, right? So you need to take the meanings of these words actually. Because you need to be familiar with this. Are you using these words? Geek or dweeb? Using or you have heard or are you familiar anything to do with these two words? Yes or no? Sorry.
No, madam.
No, never. You have never heard. In Sri Lankan context, you might not have, I think, exposure. Right? Anyway, I'll give you an idea. Here you have geek. Geek is used both as a noun as well as a verb. Right? When it is used to refer to, I mean, to talk about as a noun, it means unfashionable person. Geek, unfashionable. And when it is used as a verb, engaged in computer-related tasks. Geek as a verb. So totally different meanings anyway, right? According to the syntactic category. When it is used as a noun, one meaning, and as a verb, another meaning. But again, I have to tell you, I have to repeat that these are not formal words. They're very colloquial and very casual. And dweeb is a noun that has the meaning of boring or unattractive person. Dweebs. Boring, unattractive. You have to know about the whereabouts these words. So used mostly by the adolescents among their friends, right? In informal situations. I think you have to take these meanings. Am I correct? Are these explanations available in the note? Okay, okay, then you have to take, right? Take down them. Rather than taking screenshots, so I mean taking photos, you better write. I'll give you enough time, writing time. Okay. Okay. Right. I'm moving on to the next part. Clipping. So I hope you got the idea about coin words, and only 2 examples here I gave you, right? So you are totally free to find more examples for coin words actually. But be careful. This is the point. I mean, coin words should have the characteristic that they should be totally new creations along with newly invented pronunciation and meaning. Okay, so these are the qualities of coin words. So apart from these 2 examples, better if you can find some and add them to your note. Okay, and the next one, clippings. Clippings are very simple. And you said most of you know about clippings, right? Okay, so let's see then. Clipping, the idea is cutting. No? Clip means cut. So new words here, we form new words by shortening the word into a part, right? Okay, now we have the long word, okay? Already in the vocabulary, in the English vocabulary, we have a word. Then we are going to cut some parts in that word and we start using the rest or the remaining part as the new word. That is what is happening in clippings. We cut the parts, some parts of an existing word, and we start using the remaining parts as the new word. So here, these are not the examples for clippings. These are some of the words in English vocabulary. Professor, facsimile, and photographic opportunity. These are some of the words. So what are the clippings that we can form out of these words? From professor, what is the new word we use now? Professor is shortened or cut into what?
Prof.
Prof, madam.
Yes, prof. Prof is a new word then. Okay, so prof is the example for the clipping. And the second word, facsimile. Now the thing is, this is the original word, right? This may not be very much familiar to you, but its new word after clipping is very familiar. Yeah. Facsimile, that is fax, correct. And photographic opportunity? Actually, we are cutting, there are 2 words, no? Cutting part apart from each word. Okay, I'll give you. No, not photocopy, right? Photographic opportunity. So from photographic, we have photo. From opportunity, we have op. So you can see in these 3 examples, the latter part is clipped. Latter part. In facsimile, latter part, and in photographic also the latter part, opportunity also latter part. They are flipped. So, okay. Likewise, yeah, we have so many examples. Gas from gasoline, doc from doctor, tab from tablet, lab from laboratory. Fine, good. So when we talk about the clippings, not only this, there are so many ways of clipping a word. Right now, in all these 3 examples, you can find one way of clipping. Actually, we have clipped the latter part of all the 3 situations. Latter part of these 3 words. Actually, there are 4 words altogether. So, latter part is being clipped. And then the front part is adopted as a new word. Right? So, not only that, clipping can operate in different ways. So, accordingly, we have 3 types of clipping: back clipping, fore clipping, and middle clipping. Okay, right? So, back clipping, what is happening there in back clipping? We clip the back part of the whole examples. Let me see. Okay. I have the examples, but before that, you have to think, okay? So in back clipping, we clip the back part of the word so that the front part is taken as a new word. And in fore clipping, what is happening? Can you guess? What's happening in fore clipping? Opposite of back clipping. Yeah. We clip the,
Cut the front.
yeah, we
front
cut the front part and the back part is taken as the new word, right? And in middle clipping, what can happen? We clip the middle part and have the front and back parts as the new word. Is that so? Actually, it is the other way around, right? We clip the front part and back part and we adopt the middle part as the new word, right? Did you get the idea of the last type correctly?
Yes, madam.
Yeah, we cut the front part and back part, both parts, and we have the middle part as the new word. Okay, I'll give you 1 or 2 minutes. Write at least 1 or 2 words for each type here. Don't repeat the examples you have in the previous set, right? Take new words. Gayani, your question can DR or doc. Your question is not clear to me. As clipping. We can consider doc as a clipping, right? Now people use. Okay, Nush. Now these are for back clipping, right? Gym, exam, lab, fine. And you have to find some examples for fore clipping and middle clipping as well. Okay, I'll give you a few minutes. You all try to produce examples as much as possible. And after that, I will share my marks. Okay, finish.
Yes, madam.
Okay, let's see some are writing in chat. Okay, motorbike, bike, omnibus, hamburger. Okay, front clipping, influencer. Okay, Nush. Very good. Huh? Right. So only Nush is sending some examples. So rather than typing here, right? Why you don't you switch on your mic and talk? Yeah, for public
Madam.
house. Yeah, Sabnam.
Uh,
Yes. Hmm.
backclipping, memorandum, memo,
Hmm.
mathematics,
Hmm. Yeah.
examination,
Yes. Yes. Hmm.
and for clipping, telephone, we use phone,
Okay.
internet, net.
Net. Hmm.
And I don't know whether it is right. For middle
Hmm.
clipping, refrigerator, we use it as fridge.
Fridge. Correct. That's exactly correct. Yeah. Very good,
I don't.
Sabnam. Thanks. Fine. And yeah, Dilani, max and maximum, minimum, that. Yeah. So that is backclipping, right? Yeah. So there are so many words for backclipping, of course. But for clipping, there are some words, but not very much for middle clipping category. Right? So any other person who has written all the three types who can switch on the mic and talk? Yeah. I don't think it's a big problem for you to find the backclippings. The last two, for and middle, you have to find some words. Yeah, anybody who likes to share your examples?
Madam, can we take for backclipping,
Mhm.
editorial, edit,
What's the word?
editorial,
Eddie?
editorial that to edit.
Uh-huh. Editorium. So what do you mean by that, dear? Hmm? You're not talking about auditorium, no? Right?
No, no, edit, editorial. So we cut the suffix and
RIAL.
yes,
Editorial. Uh-huh. You mean editorial. Right. Okay, then edit.
yes, madam.
From editorial, edit. But the thing is, dear, now editorial has one meaning and edit has another meaning, right?
Okay, madam.
Yeah. I mean, these two meanings are related, but exactly they mean something else. Editorial means this the statement written by the editor now in a newspaper. Am I correct? Right? It's like in Sinhala we call it Katuyakiya. I think you are talking about that. Editorial. And edit is the action. So meanings are not exactly the same. But now when you talk about clipping here, remember when we clip back part or front part or both parts, the meaning of the newly created word is similar to the meaning of the existing word, right? Now, for example, memo, memorandum. From memorandum, we have memo. From examination, we have exam. From internet, we have net, right? So, both meanings of both words are the same. Meaning doesn't undergo any change. Only the form of the word changes so that we adopt the cut word, I mean the clipped word as the new word. That is so. So you need to think about that as well when you write examples. Telephone, phone, okay, influenza, flu, fine, gymnastic, gym, okay, right. So you are trying to write some, okay, now here these are some of the examples, some more examples actually. Some you have written, of course. So backclipping, I told you there are so many words. Memo, exam, math, statistics, stat, and advertisement, ad. Now we have intro for introduction. And what is the celebs? Celebs are
Celebrity.
from celebrities, celebs. And movie, we use actually the word movie as an original word, right? But actually it has come from moving picture. Moving picture. That is the original word. So movie is a clipped form. So in all these situations, you can find the back part is clipped. So that is why we put them under back clipping category. And for clipping, the front part is clipped there. Telephone, phone, and varsity. What do you think about this word?
University.
Yeah, actually the original word is university, but we pronounce this as varsity, not varsity. It's varsity. And what about the next one? Roach is
Cockroach.
coming from cockroach. Yeah. And net, internet. Burger from, we have hamburger.
Handbag.
Yeah,
Hamburger.
hamburger. From that, ham is cut off. Burger. And what about this last word? Copter.
Helicopter.
Yeah.
Helicopter.
But now don't start telling, there is a copter flying in the sky, something like that, right? I mean, these are sometimes not very formal as I observe. So yeah, copter is from helicopter. Right. So middle clipping, there, what is happening? We clip the front part as well as the back part. So we have the middle part as the new word. So fridge. Actually, we don't have many examples for this category, but you are quite totally free to try to find some examples for the third category. Refrigerator. There, fridge is there in the middle of the word. So we take fridge only as a new word. And flu, influenza. In the word influenza, we have flu in the middle. So we take flu, I got flu. We say like that, right? So flu as one word. And we have another example, still. Now this is not same to till or until in English grammar, right? Then this is not a conjunction. Still, this has come from distillery. Distillery, you can find still in the middle, right? So front and back parts are removed. Still we take to mean the same thing, right? The same meaning. And poly, actually poly is coming from Apollinaries. Apollinaries, poly is here, right? Apollinaries, it has the meaning mineral water. So we can use poly to refer to mineral water. We have another similar kind of example, shrink. Shrink, we can find in the middle of head shrinker. Shrink is here. Right? Head shrinker is a word for psychiatrist. So people can informally use the word shrink to refer to psychiatric. Shrink. Okay, so if these examples for middle clipping are new to you, take them. And anyway, in your note, make sure that you have written enough examples for all the three categories. Right? Complete the note. Okay, right. So hope time is enough for you to add more examples, right? Okay, then let's move on to blends now. Right. So blends is something which is different from the other categories, right? So what is the meaning? Here we form new words by blending. Blend means combining. No? It's like mixing or combining parts of two different words. So remember, blending or combining parts of two different words. So that is how we create blendings or blends. And these are the examples for blends, okay? These are the examples for blends, and I'm asking here you to identify from which words are these coming from. Coming actually, because we say blend is one word that is created by combining parts of two words. And these two words are different from one another, from each other. So infomercial, can you guess the two words then? Cafetorium, netiquette, and trashware. So in all these situations,
Information and
yeah, first one, information
And
Commercial.
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 Okay, cafetorium,
Cafeteria and auditorium.
okay, and netiquette? Yes, netiquette.
Network plus
Network and
etiquette.
etiquette.
Last one, trashware. Yeah, I'll give. Right, now actually trash is only one word, right? Trash plus software. So your guessings are correct. Infomercial is coming from information and commercial. Right, now look at how we have created this blend. This is the blend. And infomercial, yeah, there are so many other examples, right? Branch, motel, there are so many examples there. But at the moment, I have taken these as examples, right? You will have some more in the coming works. Now in information, what do? We take info, this part. And in commercial, we take the latter part, right? Latter part. And then we combine. Infomercial. Don't think that in blending, we are joining the whole word. No, never. We take only part. Only a part of an existing word, right? And we join it with a part from another existing word. And cafetorium, cafeteria, and auditorium, right? Yeah. Netiquette, network, and etiquette. So you can identify which part has been taken to form the blend. And from trashware, trash and software. Now there are of course only trash. There are no parts there, only trash is taken plus ware in software. Okay, right. Net, quet in etiquette, and cafetorium. So I have underlined, I have marked the parts that have been taken to form these blends. So actually there are no hard and fast rules like that. Always we should take the first part or only the last part, but mostly the common trend is first part and the last part. First part of one word and the last part of another word. Usually that is the trend. Okay, right. So you need to take down these words as well into your note. But remember, when you are expected to write the blends, examples for blends, it should be, I'm sorry for these unnecessary drawings. Yeah, so it should be words like this, right? Yeah, we have modem, yes, telecast. Right, there are so many examples. Now here you have this small work. You might have this question. Again, you need to check paste, right? If this question is not available, just take down advertisement and entertainment. What kind of a blend can you create? And biographical picture, chuckle, snort, guess, estimate. Likewise, it goes on. So there are several pairs of words. So once you create or form blends, which part are you going to select from each and every word? Actually, you don't have to have any analysis like that, right? You just write the blend in front. That's enough. Write the blend in front. Okay, so there are several blends like that you need to identify. Okay, take few minutes. Right? Take few minutes and do this work now. You don't have this question, so it's all right. You can just take down them, right? Take down and write the blends. I'll give you time for that. Okay, I'll give you 5 to 7 minutes. Right. Now tell me when you finish the work. Have you finished? Is the work over?
No, madam.
Okay, okay. Tell me when you finish. Right, Dilani, thanks for the words. There are some changes to be done. Okay. Changes to some of the words. Most are correct. Right? Yeah. Okay, we'll see. Now let's wait until everybody finishes. Right. Now, so first one then, yeah. Advertisement and entertainment. What can be the word? Hope you all have guessed or written the words by now, no? Right? What can be the blend of the first one? I just want to check.
Advertainment.
Yeah.
Advertising.
Advertainment. Anything else? Anything different one? Please talk if you have got any different word, right? Second one, biographical picture.
Biopic.
Yes, it should be bio. Now, in that case, of course, we are selecting the first part of both words, biopic, right? And third one, chuckle and snort. What can be the word? Okay, now you tell me, you going on telling, and after that, I'll show you the words. Yeah. Chortle. Okay. Okay. Yes. Next one. Guess estimate. What is the word? Guesstimate. Okay. Hazardous material. Yeah. Hazardous material. I mean, there's no harm in just telling it, sitting on your mic and telling what you have written. There's no need of even typing here. Just go on telling anything you found. from hazardous material. Okay, next one, motor and hotel.
Motel.
Simultaneous broadcast. What can be the blend? Silence means I just think that you have no idea. In common, okay? Simultaneous broadcast. I mean, just talk. Next, smoke and fog.
Smog, madam.
Smoke. Spanish, English.
Spanglish.
Spoon, fork.
Sport.
Telephone, marathon. Must be wondering how on earth such kind of thing is possible, right? Yeah, telethon. And last one, web seminar.
Webinar.
During the pandemic time, it came right into the use. Okay, check now. Check where if anything is wrong, where you have gone wrong. Advertainment, and second one, biopic. Next, third one, chortle, right? Like chortle. And guesstimate, hazmat. No one came with this. Hazardous material, that is hazmat. And hotel, motel. Simulcast, smog, Spanglish, just like Singlish. Even in the combination of Sinhala plus English, Singlish. And Spanish plus English, Spanglish. Right. Spoke, telethon, and webinar. So these are the possible combinations, blends. So always don't expect that always. I mean, you don't try to generalize that rule that we are going to pick the first part of one word and always the second part of the other word. That is the common trend. But other than that, sometimes we pick the first part from both words. In this list also, you have examples like biopic, hazmat, right? So there are such situations also when we form the blends. And the other thing I want to tell you regarding the formation of blends is that it is done out of the need. Because now just think that we want to express two ideas in one word, right? Two different maybe ideas or concepts, but using one word only. So in such a situation, we don't have any other option than combining these two words. But we can't combine both words all together, right? So we pick one part from one word and couple it with another part with another word. So that is how we form blends. The purpose of blend is that when we want to convey two different meanings together using one word, right? Okay, so I think blends are clear to you. So apart from this, also you can have more examples. But whenever you write an example for a blend, remember to come up with the words, both words, out of which the blended word is formed, right? So it will show that you are fully aware of how the blend word is being formed. Don't come up with only the blend word. That you have to consider when you write answers in the examination papers, right? Okay. So did you get some idea about blendings?
Yes,
Is it all
ma'am.
right if
Yes,
I
madam.
move? Yeah.
Madam,
Shall I move?
does
Yeah.
does email comes under blends?
Email? No.
No.
No. Email is actually electronic mail, right?
Yes.
So there it's not a blending, of course. Electronic mail, there what has happened is that electronic has been clipped. Only the letter E is there, and the rest is been clip, no, that's all. It doesn't have anything to do with blending, I think. Okay.
Thank you, madam.
Right. But the thing is this, when you talk about blending, always now blending is the production of two different words, no? So these two different words are actually different from each other. And now when you look at this list, you will understand that matter. Guess, estimate. Guess is one word with one meaning and estimate is another word, totally another meaning. All the words are like that. But due to some kind of requirement, we have to combine. We have to combine these two words because we need to give a combined kind of meaning. That's all. Otherwise, two different words existing in the vocabulary. Right? Okay. Fine. Then next one, I want to move on to generified words. Or in one word, we call it generification. Right? Generification, and now the time is almost 3. I think we are going for a very short break, right? Because usually I'm not taking all 3 hours at a stretch. So you have a short break now. Now, what's the time? It's
2:43.
2:43, no? So you can have a short break at 2, like kind of 3. Right, 3 or maximum 3-5, and then we'll continue our discussions with the rest of the word formation processes. Okay, right. Okay. Okay, right, back to work. So have you come after the break?
Yes, madam.
Right, then we'll continue. from generification, right? So hope you must have gone through this part of the note and have some idea. We, in one word, of course, we can call this generification, or we can say we can add new words, right? We can add generified words. The name of the process is generification, and the nature of the words that are added by means of generification is generified words, right? Okay, now we will see how it happens. Now we here talk about creating new words by using specific brand names of products as names of products in general, right? Specific brand names of particular products become the names of the products in general. Now, from the word generification, I hope you can get that idea. Generification means making something general, right? Making something general. So here we are making the brand names general. So not only the brand names, sometimes so the names of certain people as well, right? Not only the brand name. So generification can occur in relation to names of some people also. I think, yeah, we have the example for guillotine for that. Okay, we'll look at the examples now. From the first one, Kleenex. Actually, these examples are not from the Sri Lankan context, right? These are from the world, from different countries, but still can be considered as valid examples for you to understand how generification works. So Kleenex is a brand name for facial tissues. Okay, Kleenex. It's a brand name for facial tissues, but now what has happened? People in general, they have started to use the word Kleenex to refer to facial tissues. Earlier, it came as the name of the product, the particular, you know what brand name is. So the name of the product. But now the product itself is called Kleenex. Product is facial tissues. Right. Similarly, here, Xerox. The second example, Xerox. So it is the name of the company actually. Now, in relation to Kleenex, that is the brand name of the product. But Xerox is the name of the company that produces photocopy machines. Okay. But with the time being, what happened? The word Xerox started to be used to refer to the photocopy machines in general. So rather than saying photocopy machines, people started to say Xerox machines. Xerox machines. Okay. So actually, originally, Xerox was the name of the company. And there's another different example here, guillotine. Right? You must have heard this word guillotine. Actually, guillotine is a kind of instrument of execution, right? So this was used in the past, not now. I don't think this instrument is in use now. It's a kind of machine where the person is beheaded. You know what beheaded is? The head of a person is separated with a sharp blade, right? That comes down quickly. That is how that machine operates. So this machine was actually named as guillotine from the name of the person who has invented that. Dr. Joseph Guillotine is the one who invented this instrument, actually, right? So by that name, the machine was named guillotine. But nowadays, what has happened? In Sinhala also, you have this guillotine, right? Or guillotine in English, or in Sinhala, it has come, the word itself has come as it is to the Sinhala language, like guillotine. So it means like putting people into death. That kind of meaning is associated with the word guillotine. Not that that instrument is in use now, right? But that action is generally given by the word guillotine. Action of killing people. Okay, right. So that is the nature of guillotine. So these three examples are not particularly from the Sri Lankan context, as I told to you. But they are good examples to illustrate generification. And when you come to the Sri Lankan context, of course, we have so many other examples. Here I have written some: sunlight, bata, signal, and 3 dots means there are so many other. Right now, for a very simple situation, okay, just think this: you want to buy a bar of soap, right? If you wash your clothes with hands, then you might need soap, right? To wash the clothes. Then you need the soap, a bar of soap to wash your clothes. So you go to the shop, and from the salesman, what do you ask? What do you ask from the salesman? Mudalali, what?
So,
Now, do you ask now in Sinhala, Mudalani මට රෙදි සෝදන සබන් කෑල්ලක් දෙනවද කියලා දහන්නේ? Mostly, what? How do you ask?
Sunlight pattern.
Sunlight කෑල්ලක් දෙන්නකො මට. Right? Something like that, no? Right? Sunlight එක කෑල්ලක් හරි sunlight කෑලි දෙකක් තුනක් මට දෙන්න. Something like that. Similarly, signal එකක් දෙන්න. Now, you need a toothpaste, right? Now, toothpaste එකක් දෙන්න, that can be, right? But most of the time, signal එකක්. What has happened there? What's the reason? These brand names, actually, Sunlight, Signal, these are brand names. Even Bata, they are brand names, and now they have become general to be referred to the products, not to the brands particularly now. Right? Now, see what has happened to Bata. Now, nowadays, people are, sorry, nowadays people are wearing sandals produced by, we'll say, Bata, and there's another company, DSI, right? You know that? DSI, right? And the word DSI is printed in the sandal itself, in the slipper itself. But people say, mage Bata dekha. Haven't you seen such situations? They say, mage Bata dekha wearing slippers by DSI. So, Bata has become generalized, right? It has been made general. So, likewise, yeah, you have Tafima has given Astra, Maggie, Rinso, yeah. For washing powder, Rinso. It has become general. And for margarine, of course, I don't think anybody uses margarine, right? Instead of telling butter is something else, right? And there are so many brand names of butter. But margarine, have you heard people telling margarine or Astra?
Astra.
Astra. So whatever the, even, I mean, sometimes you may not be that much interested in the brand Astra. You might find some other brand to be much more tasty and delicious than Astra. Even then you use Astra. So that much it has become general, right? So add some more examples than this. I have given only these 3 words, sunlight, Bata, and signal. But from Sri Lankan context, you can have so many other. Not only this kind of good, sometimes you might find some other examples from different context, right? Now, these are only goods, no? But just think of some services and see whether generification can be seen there, right? So have a small kind of research and add some more examples to your list, okay? More examples are necessary for all these word formation processes, apart from the examples I have given in the note. So add more. I hope you got some idea about generification, generified words. And then we'll come to borrowing. Borrowing. That is also one of the familiar word formation processes, right? Even if you don't have a very big idea, still you can guess what it means, right? Borrowing, actually borrowing means taking now, right? It's kind of taking. So borrowing as a word formation process, what do we mean? We borrow some words from other languages. Now here we means the speakers using one particular language, and that language can be the English language, Sinhala language, Tamil language, or any other language. Then there are borrowings for any of these languages. There are borrowings in the English language, and there are borrowings in the Sinhala and Tamil. Any language existing in the world can have borrowings. And we, for example, if we take the English language, there are some borrowings, many borrowings, which means the words in the English vocabulary that have originally come from other languages in the world. So their origin is not the English itself, right? Their origin is not the Great Britain itself. Origins are from some other countries, some other word families. Okay, some other languages that are totally different from the English language. So that is the nature of the borrowing. So once the speakers of a language borrow words from another language, what will happen to these borrowings? They adopt these words in their language. Now, if we talk about the English language, English has borrowed so many words from other languages, no? And these borrowed words, most of these borrowed words are not used as they are in their original form. Once they are borrowed, right, their form undergoes changes. Sometimes the pronunciation undergoes changes. Likewise, adopt means that, right? These borrowed items are adopted by the language that borrows words from other languages. Yeah, that is the the idea, adapted for use. So not only the word borrowing, you can have the loan words or borrowed words. All these terms are applicable, right? The same incident. And when you talk about the English language, of course, it has a lot of borrowings, lot of loan words coming from the other languages. And here there are some reasons for borrowing. Why are we borrowing? Right? Okay, so we'll briefly look at these reasons. One language may possess words for which there are no equivalents. No equivalents in the other language. So there may be words for objects, social, political, and cultural institutions and events, or sometimes some abstract concepts which are not found in the culture of the other language. Okay, so in such a situation, what can happen? The language which do not have, right, which does not have particular words to refer to particular concepts, right, in relation to social, political, cultural fields, then that language has to borrow the relevant words from other languages. Okay, right. Now, there is a word in English, asvedumization. One example only, right? Asvedumization. So how do you understand that word? Are you familiar with that word? Have you heard it? Asvedumization? Or is this the first time you know that? Yeah? Any idea? Okay, I'll write the word here. Asvedumai. Sorry. Asvedumization. Now, familiar? Any one of you familiar with this? What's the meaning?
Madam, is it about Aswasuma?
No, not Asvesuma. No. Dilani, what have you heard about this? Yeah? Aswadhanama. Yes, correct. Aswadhuma, Aswadhana. Now, actually, now what has happened here? Aswadhumization is an English word, right? That is an English word. But what has happened is that I'm not telling that this is a result of a borrowing, but I'm just explaining this reason with an example which you know, which I think you know, right? So in Aswadhumization, this is a complex word now. We can see the root is Aswadhumize and Asian. So root is from Sinhala, okay, and plus the suffix Asian is from English. So new word has been added to the English vocabulary with root from the Sinhala and suffix from the English language. Now, why such a thing happened? That is what is relevant to our discussion here under reasons, okay? Otherwise, please don't come to the misunderstanding that Aswadhumization is a borrowing. Example for borrowing. No, it's not a borrowing, but something here which has happened that leads to borrowing. So in Aswadhumization, those people in Britain, they don't have the concept of Aswadhumize, no, right? They have paddy fields, right? They have fields, they are harvesting, but they don't have this particular concept called Aswadhana, right? But here in Sri Lanka, we have it in relation to paddy fields, right? There's a long process in harvesting now in relation to paddy fields. So there, Aswadhanava is one major stage. But the thing is, when we Sri Lankans talk in English, unfortunately, the English vocabulary does not contain any word to talk about Aswadhanava. Then what happened was that we created a word, right? We coined a word, of course, by adding English suffix to the Sinhala root and forming the word Aswadhumization. Of course, this is a noun, but we can have the verb form, Aswadhumize, right? Aswadhumize, that is a verb. It talks about the action. Aswadhanava, that idea is there. So why that kind of incident happened? Because the English language lacked this concept. So as a result, as speakers of the Sinhala language and as those who are familiar or exposed to the Sinhala culture, we had to add the Sinhala term and couple it with an English suffix and start using a new word called Aswadhumization. So something like that we are talking here. So similarly, if one language lacks the necessary words to talk about certain concepts related to any field, then what can happen is that that language can borrow some words, relevant words from other languages. Likewise, the English language has taken Aswadhumize from the Sinhala language. Okay, I hope the first paragraph, the idea of the first paragraph is clear to you. So that is the biggest reason, the main reason for borrowing. Okay, and there are some more examples there other than the one I gave you. Some examples from the English language throughout the ages, right? So English has borrowed words for types of houses. So other than this one, now there are some words. Actually, these words are not originally from the English language. Castle, mansion, teepee, wigwam, igloo, bungalow, right? So for some types of houses, these are from other languages. So examples for borrowing. And also English has borrowed words for cultural institutions like opera, ballet. They are not originally English words. And also in relation to political concepts, the words like perestroika, glasnost, apartheid, right? All these words have come to the English language from outside languages. So these are only very few, right? Very few examples. But I hope the reason was clear to you, the main reason. And it often happens that one culture borrows from the language of another culture words or phrases to express technological, social, or cultural innovations. Yeah. To express innovations, that is also there, right? Apart from the earlier reason, now this is one reason, and this is another situation where the borrowing happens. If I brief it again, basically borrowing takes place when one language lacks words to express some concepts. Then that language has to borrow the relevant words from other languages to express certain concepts, right? Concepts that are existing maybe. And another reason, there can be innovations in the technological field, social field, or even cultural sector, cultural field. So to express these innovations, the existing words of one language may not be enough. So in such a situation, that language has to borrow words from other languages to express these innovations, right? Okay, so hope you got these ideas clearly. And there are some more examples. I'm going to move on to them. Yeah, right. Now your note has these ones. And the thing is, there are some dotted lines, which means I have given the words in sets. So there are 5 sets here at the moment on screen, right? 5 sets are there. Now all the words in each set have come from one original language. So you need to notice that. Find out that language. For example, kindergarten, noodle, quartz, bum, loafer, all these words are coming from, actually they have already come to the English language from one language. What is that language? And croissant, ballet, saloon, niche, denim, cafe, genre are from one same language. So there are 5 sets here and there is another set also. But now you try to guess. I mean, I know that you don't know, you may not know exactly, but still you can guess. Because some of these words in each set are familiar words to you. So you can just guess their whereabouts and guess the country. Not the country, you just guess the language. Okay? Yeah. Just few minutes. What about the first set? Have some idea?
It's German, madam.
German. Anyway, I'm going to show you the words, right? You try now. Any other? If you have any other option also, tell me, yeah? Others. Second set,
French.
French. Why? Any idea why you selected it to be French? Like French kind of words are there? Is that so? Croissant,
Ballet
cliché,
means
ballet.
coffee.
Ah, okay.
Ballet.
Yeah. Third set, banana, banjo, zombie, zebra, gorilla, and jazz,
African, because banjo and
banjo. Zombies are there in Africa only, you mean? No, Dilani, I need the language. Okay. I mean, not the country. Well, next one, anonymous, skeleton, tragedy, climax, data, history, critique, catastrophe. What can you guess?
Greek.
Greek. We'll see. Last set, habitual, mediate, notorious, capsule, gradual, ultimate, disc, expensive. What do you guess?
Latin.
Latin. Any reason why Latin? Or just thought? So you have been correct. German, French, African, Greek, and Latin. Okay, and there's the next set also. Right. So now, without referring from any source, you just look at this and tell me. Next set. Barricade, tornado, taco, mosquito, alligator, guitar, macho. Right. What can be the language? Yes. What can be Japanese? Why Japanese? Dilan, any reason? Spanish? What about the second set then? Casino, balcony, macaroni, duo, gazette, violin, umbrella, studio, opera, and we have paparazzi also. Paparazzi. Italian.
Italian.
Okay, let's see. Third set here, icon, perestroika, vodka. These are, I mean, the words that can give you the clues. Perestroika, vodka, you must have heard. Any guess? No idea. Right. Next set, bazaar, caravan, mosque, sultan, giraffe. Sultan is also there.
Urdu.
Arabian.
Arab.
Okay, sultans are there in Arab countries. Egyptian. Shihani, why Egyptian? You just thought, huh?
Yes, madam, because like
Huh.
bazaar
Mm-hmm.
and even like mosque also felt the
Mhm.
Egyptian back in.
Anyway, I'll show you, right? I'll show you the word list. Next one, tea, ketchup, ginseng, chopsy, kung fu. What do you think?
Chinese.
Chopsy, kung fu.
Chinese.
Kung fu. Right. Next, sushi, judo, samurai, tsunami, karaoke.
Japanese.
Japanese.
Now you have tsunami and even this judo, sushi. They are the words that you can use, the keywords, right? Next one, avatar, karma, mahatma, yoga. From where are these?
Yeah. Sanskrit.
Indian is not a language.
Sanskrit.
Yeah, Sanskrit. Last set. Bengal, Bungalow, Jungle, Maharaja. Maharaja is also there. What can be the original language?
Bengali.
No, dear, now you can't say Indian, right? It's not a language. Any guess for the last set?
Dutch.
Bengali.
Bengal, right? Tamil. Okay, I'll give you the list now. See. So see where you have gone wrong. First set Spanish, right? Tornado, taco, mosquito, alligator, they all from Spanish. And the second set from Italian. I think you have come up with the correct guess. And the third set, nobody talked about it. That is actually Russian. Perestroika, vodka, they are there in Russian words. And the next set, you have been correct. Actually, it's Arabic words, right? These are from Arabic languages. And the next set, chopsy, kung fu, ketchup from Chinese. And the next set, okay, Sandhuni, I'll share the previous slide in a second, okay? Japanese and Avatar Karma Mahatma Yoga, that's from Sanskrit. The last set from Hindi. Okay. So you need to take these words. Once you finish with this slide, I'll go back to the previous slide, okay? Right. Take down these words. If you have correctly identified and written these words, okay, no problem. Otherwise, please take down this.
Madam,
Yeah.
madam, then like since avatar is from Sanskrit, is it really pronounced as avatar or
Must be
like
avatar or something, right? Because I
Avatar.
told you, once these words come to the English language, they undergo changes in pronunciation, and sometimes the formations, forms, they are adapted now. So it is now in English we say avatar, but say in Sanskrit, definitely a different pronunciation must have been there, right? Not avatar.
Thank you, madam.
If possible, try to remember some of these examples along with from where they have come, right? And it's much better actually at the same time if you can refer and have your own set of examples with you. You can have your own examples. These borrowings actually, there are so many borrowings, so many examples are there. Now, these are only very few examples. But if you just Google, you might find long list of words, borrowings to the English language, because you know, English language, actually, it's full of borrowings. There's very, original words are not much there in the English language. Most of the things have come from outside. Okay. Majority of the words in the English vocabulary are from outside. So you will have so many examples. So much better if you can find something more, maybe something easier than these examples you might find. So easier to remember and simple examples you might find. So get them, add them, and study them for exam purpose. What I mean is that you don't have to depend on these examples only, right? There are a lot of things available. So I'll go back to the previous slide. For those who couldn't, wait. Yeah, this one. Who couldn't get the words? This is the previous set. Okay, right then. So regarding borrowing, I'm not going to talk more than that. Only thing is you have to know what borrowings are and why a language should borrow words from outside along with examples, enough number of examples. If you are planning to write any answer to a question on borrowing, right? So you need to cover up this area and have a very good understanding as well as memory. Okay. Next, I will go to reduplication. As I remember, that's our last one, I think, right? Okay, so we'll talk about reduplication also. Reduplication, for some of you, you said at the beginning, it's not very familiar. Right, okay, let's see. Although the term is not familiar to you, you use reduplicated words in your day-to-day language. Enough time you know that, I'm sure of that. Okay, so we'll get familiar with the term here. Reduplication term and what's happening here, right? So it's the morphological and phonological process of forming a compound word. Remember, reduplication is related to compound word formation. Okay, which means with the process of reduplication, we create a compound word, not a simple word. Now, in all the other processes we have discussed, we found we create simple words, okay, single words. But in this process, we create compound word. Special thing is this, by repeating all or part of it. By repeating now in a compound word, simply there are two parts, no? Right? Basically, in a compound word, at least there should be two parts. And in some other compound words, you can have more than two parts. 3 parts are there, 4, 5. It goes on like that. But just think that there are two parts in the compound word we are talking now, right? So there, how do we form this compound word with two parts? We repeat, which means both parts mostly are the same, which means first part is repeated. So then the second part is also like the first part. That is what you mean by repeating here. Okay, so we create the compounds with the process of reduplication by repeating. And that is morphological and phonological process because it has to do with the word formation, and also it has, very importantly, it has something to do with the sounds. Okay, it has to do with sound because this repetition occurs with the repetition of the sound. We are repeating the sound, of course, syllables. So that is why it is mentioned here as morphological plus phonological process. So once we discuss examples, all these things will be clear to you. And there are some terms normally associated in the process of reduplication. Terms, reduplicative is one term. So it is a word or lexeme that contains two identical or very similar parts. So reduplicative, right? Reduplicative is the word which is given to the compound words. Compound words that are created by the process of reduplication, right? And sometimes you have this tautonym. If you are reading, you must have found or you will find the term tautonym that is similar to reduplicative, right? Tautonyms. Some writers, some authors use tautonyms also quite commonly instead of reduplicative. Both means the same thing here. And the repeated element is called reduplicant, another term. Now, I told you there is a compound word. Sorry. There is a compound word, first word and the second word, right? So, this whole compound word is called the tautonym or reduplicative, okay? And the second part is called reduplicant. because it is the repeated element of the first element. Now, first word is there anyway, and the second part of the compound word we form by repeating the first part. So this repeated element is called reduplicant. You don't have to bother too much with these terms. But in case you read, okay, you come across some of these words, you should have a clear understanding to get the idea. Right? That's why I'm giving this familiarity to you regarding the terms. Okay, now let's see the examples. There are 3 types of reduplication happening. Okay, 3 types. First one, exact reduplication. Right? Exact, we call it exact reduplication. So what is happening here? The 2 houses are exactly the same. That is why we call it exact. Exactly the same. So look at the example. Blah, blah. Bye, bye. Knock, knock. So, so. Now, these are some of the words which we use in our everyday usage of the language, don't we? Right? We say blah, blah. She was telling this and that and blah, blah. Right? And bye, bye. Knock, knock. So, so. Right? In our casual speech, we use a lot of words like this. So, in this category, the special characteristic is both parts are exactly the same. You can see part 1 and part 2 in all these examples, same, identical, right? Okay, second type, rhyming. Rhyming reduplication. There, what is happening? The 2 halves rhyme with each other. Rhyme with each other. See, hocus pocus, teeny weeny, lovey dovey, walkie talkie. Here, rhyming with each other means, remember, we use the vowels, similar vowel sounds, and that is why they rhyme. You know what rhyming is, right? When there are 2 words, the consonants may be different, okay, but the vowels are the same. So, first example, hocus pocus, O sound, O. First vowel is O, and second vowel is A. It is not the letter U, no, I'm talking about the pronunciation of this. So, first vowel O, second vowel Focus, focus. So, similar pattern, right? O, in both words. And in teeny weeny, E, short E and, sorry, long E and short E. First word. And the second word also, long E and short E. Weeny. Lovey dovey. First vowel A. And second vowel E. Second word also dovey. A, E. Walkie talkie. Similar way. O and E. O and E. Hope you got the point here, right? In rhyming reduplication, only the vowel sounds are repeated. The 2 parts are rhyming each other, which means the vowel pattern of the first part is repeated in the second word, second part as well. Right. And the opposite of this can be seen in the third type of reduplication, abload reduplication, we call it, right? Abload reduplication, where the 2 halves change their forms with the vowel change, right? So they are, of course, they change their forms with the change of the vowel sound also. Now you can see criss, cross. In this category, in abload reduplication, the consonants are the same, right? Consonants are the same, but vowels are different. Vowel change. In the first word, crisscross, E, short E vowel is there. And in the second part of that word, E becomes O. Sorry, I did not underline the whole thing. Okay. The second part, it becomes O. I'm sorry, I hope you can find out the vowel sounds, okay? And the second example, ding dong. It becomes O. Whereas the consonants remain the same. Okay, consonant sounds are the same. Ping pong, I becomes O. And seesaw, E becomes O. TikTok, I becomes O. And zigzag, I becomes A. So you can find the vowels change in ablaut reduplication, whereas the consonants remain the same. And in rhyming reduplication, what happens? Consonants change, whereas vowels same. Vowels are repeated, consonants change. Is that clear? Did you get some idea regarding these three types, the differences actually, among the three types of reduplication? So reduplication is something like that. Actually, it's a compound word always, okay? Compound word where always there are two parts. And always these two parts are repeating. But how they are repeating is different. It can happen in three different ways. Accordingly, we have these three types of reduplication. You got some idea? Now, especially at the very beginning, some of you were telling that reduplication is not that much clear. It's not familiar. So now, do you think you got some idea about reduplication? Or if anything is not clear, just tell me. I'm ready to repeat or explain or do whatever. Yeah. Now I have to doubt whether you people are there in the lecture also. So no one is responding. So
No,
I
madam.
don't-
Yeah, madam.
Yeah.
must be thinking that. I mean, is there a meaning in both? What do you mean by gynae? By this meaning means actually, of course, when we think about the meaning of reduplicated words, this reduplicate is we don't separate the meanings, right? I mean, we don't take the meaning of the first part and the second part separately. The whole thing has one meaning, no? Blah, blah. Bye, bye. Knock, knock. Actually, this is one word, right? Although there are two parts in it, this is one word, compound word, and it has one meaning. Don't think that each part has different meanings, nothing like that. So, are you using this sort of words in your everyday language? I mean, when you talk in English, even Sinhala. Using or no?
Yes,
Using,
madam.
madam.
Definitely, yeah.
Using,
that's
madam.
why. Using only thing is they are the products of the word formation process called reduplication. That's all. Okay, right. So yeah, not all of them. You must be using few of them accordingly. Okay, right. So you have to, please, I'm always asking you to add to the list of examples, add from you. Okay, add from you means I'm not asking to create examples and add them. You need to have a search. Yes, have a Google search, and because a lot of things are available nowadays, no, from the sites. So enrich your note. That is what I ask, right? Because don't depend or don't limit yourselves to the examples I give only. You can have your own set of nice and updated examples and also clear and simple examples. I am giving you the basic idea only here. Okay, so I have covered up the first section. Under the word formation processes, at the beginning, I introduced you three sections. No? Addition of new words, and the next one, this change in the meaning and the application of the word formation rule. So I have discussed the first area, and next day when I meet you, I will start from the second section. That means how we can form new words by changing the meaning of the existing words. From this point, I will continue. As the time is over now, I'm going to wind up the discussion. But still, if you think that when you refer these notes, if you find that something is not clear or vague or doubtful, you are totally free to bring them to the lecture next day so that we will discuss them. Okay then. All right then.
Madam,
Okay, madam.
Okay, we'll meet next Sunday.
Thank
Have a nice
you.
week, all of you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
thank you, madam.